Had a very good question. What is this knob thing on the scabbard of your sword called? Well, it's called a kurigata. Kurigata can mean knob or the bridge of the sageo. One of my teachers even called it a chestnut shape here. So the kurigata, let's talk about a little bit about what this is. You want the kurigata, this chestnut-shaped knob here, on the outside of your body. If you turn it this way, it's going to dig into your ribs, your body, and it's not going to feel good. So that's how you know. It's a little secret. You know that the blade is up. Say it was a chokuto straight blade and you didn't know whether it was up or down. Where the kurigata is, if it's on the left, on the outside, the blade will be up. So you know here, this blade is up, okay? Only in the old days, when they wore the big, long tachi swords, which had a huge sori curve, would they wear the blade down. So a long time ago, 500 years or more, it was easy to draw the big, huge tachi swords with the blade down, especially if you were on horseback or something. Nowadays, meaning last 300-400 years to now, you have the blade on the katana here, up. Blade is up because the curve is smaller and it's much quicker to draw and do the sayabiki here with the blade up. The kurigata here also serves as a purpose so that when your sword might be pushed, it will not fall out the back. That's really interesting. If you were running or something, or your obi belt came loose, the kurigata, this little knob here, keeps it from coming out the back of your obi. It also helps with sayabiki somewhat. When you're drawing your sword out, you can use it this way. The kurigata has a couple functions, mostly to hold the sageo though. Often the kurigata was about the width of your hand here. So the bottom part of my hand is against this knob, which allows my hand to squeeze and pop the seal of the sword open. Of course, you can use your thumb here. You can use your index finger to pop it free. Several ways to do it, but if it's here on the kurigata, then just by squeezing the saya, because it's the exact width, this should pop free here of the habaki, okay? Often, though, the kurigata were made for small people's hands. Some are back here, some are back here. I'll show you a couple different swords where the kurigata is far, far back, especially on a longer no-dachi sword or something like that. Ultimately, though, you don't know which sword you're going to be thrown, so make sure that wherever the kurigata is, it should not matter in your drawing. Don't let too much dogma fall into this with different schools. Normally the kurigata, because I have a big hand, is here. It's not back here, it's here. Doesn't matter with me. It doesn't matter where it is. I will be able to draw the sword or manipulate the sword however I can, whether it's here, here, or here. I don't use the squeezing method. I tend to use the thumb hidden method here. But many schools have different methods. Don't worry about it. If this is going to bother your drawing, then there's an issue with the swordsmanship and practice. Wherever this is, adapt to what is given to you on the particular weapon that you have. You won't have time to complain about where the little chestnut knob is. Here we have kurigata from different lengths. So here's one that's much longer. It's farther away from the tsuba guard because this is a longer handled sword. So as you can see the size of that ska there, the kurigata is farther down on your obi belt to allow you the space to draw out your sword. Here's one that's typical. It's about a hand width, a little less because I have larger hands. And they're made of different things. Basically, they hold the sageo in. Here is called the shitodome, which is this little, in this case, brass little piece here. That's just a little fitting, and you can replace these. You can buy them. They're made of steel, buffalo horn, all kinds of different woods. This just keeps the sageo from fraying and cutting over time. So it's just like a little stopper here, and it goes inside here. Often these are not glued in, and you'll notice that when you buy a sword, this will come out. And you can glue it if you want, or you can replace it. Here's another shitodome here. This one's got kind of a fancy little shape. This one looks like it's secure, holding the sageo in. There's also shitodome up here on the kashira butt cap, and this holds the ito, the wrapping in. It also covers the top of the handle, and it's just decorative as well. But that's a beautiful example of one there. Here's one that's built right into the kashira butt cap to tie the ito off. Many times the sageo here has a frayed end to it, and that can be really hard to get through the kurigata or the shitodome. So sometimes you can put wax around this, you can wrap it with paper, you can wrap it with tape, as long as you can get that small, and then use a flathead screwdriver to shove it through that hole there so that you can get the sageo in and tie it however you wish. There are different ways to tie this cord. A lot of people leave the cord loose to put around your obi belt in different types of iaido, etc. Some people tie it like that. And often when you buy them, they come in this fancy style here that a lot of people don't untie at all. There are a lot of old pictures of samurai from the 1800s that do not have them even undo the sageo, so perhaps it lost some of its versatility or utility farther out into history. The kurigata kind of looks like the chestnut, hence the name. It really is an interesting little knob on the saya scabbard. Keeps your saya from sliding around. It holds the sageo on, and you could use it to hit people with. Several probably different functions that I haven't even thought of, but don't worry about how far away from the tsuba guard it is. You should be able to adapt no matter how far it is. If you can customize and make your own sword, go for it. A couple things to remember: that if this is a different type of wood, it might be a buffalo horn wood or something, it can separate from the saya. If there's a lot of humidity, sometimes these will pop off and pull the lacquer off. What you have to do is just kind of sand them down, wait till the humidity changes, re-glue them on with something like a modern Gorilla Glue. But sometimes these will pop off. I have several swords where these are broken off over time. Everything you can get, you can find on the internet, repair it if you're really interested in this type of stuff. Most of the time these will stay on, they will not pop off. But if you do heavy sword work like we do here at the dojo, these can sometimes break. Many things can happen. They can be pulled off if the opponent grabs your sageo cord and rips it. Just expect these to be more utilitarian than showpieces. And that's a quick video on the what is that on the scabbard, the kurigata.